country man in Miami. Chanel's and pearls, that's the trick that it take to keep the girls.
People get used to anything. The less you think about your oppression, the more your tolerance for it grows. After a while, people just think oppression is the normal state of things. But to become free, you have to be acutely aware of being a slave. Assata Shakur. Disclaimer, this video is not meant to mock naturally thin people or anyone who struggles with body issues. Also, I am not a medical professional. I'm only stating my opinions. So today we're going to be talking about Aoki Simmons. And Aoki is the daughter of Kimora and Rosalie Simmons. She's also a fashion model and Harvard graduate.
Okay, hello. I really need to create that podcast I keep mentioning because all I do is talk and run out of time on TikTok. But anyway, I thought I'd answer this. This is my work outfit from my other job. But anyway, why am I choosing modeling even though, as you say very complimentarily, I'm articulate and educated? Okay, well, one, models aren't uneducated or not articulate. But two, I think what you're really getting at is why am I going into a field that doesn't necessarily require a degree or require a whole lot of book smarts when I have a lot of education, right? Is that the question? Well, one, because I love it. And I think we should normalize you liking something. Like, you don't have to do what you're immediately good at, right? Like, growing up, I was a great volleyball player because I was tall. I didn't have to just go into volleyball forever because I was, like, good at it from a young age. Like, you can be good at something and not want to do it forever, and you can be bad at something and still pursue it, and still hard work will beat talent when talent doesn't work hard. You don't have to be immediately talented to go into a field, and you may end up the best one through hard work. But that aside, because I love it, but also because I really want us to move toward a future where young women are not being asked this question. Like, you're not being asked, why did you follow your more creative passion even though you're smart? Like, I would like to change the idea that you can't be smart and pretty, or you can't be smart and enjoy your looks or enjoy a creative, beauty, fashion-based career. Like, one, that requires plenty of smarts, and two, you can be two kinds of people in one person. That's really who I am. So one, I love it, and two, I really don't want this to be a question that we're asking women in 10 years. Do whatever you want. Get a degree, don't use it. Get a degree, use it later. Don't get a degree, never use it. Get a degree later. Don't get one to do whatever you want to. And nothing is a waste of your talent or a waste of your this. If you are enjoying it and you're happy and you're living your life, then whatever path took you there was the right one and nothing was wasted. All right, ladies and gentleworms, welcome to Milan. I can't make videos. Let's pack and get ready for a show tomorrow, which the call time is at 5 a.m. So, I had a hair test today, which is like where they do a hair and makeup like run through, but we're going to keep this first stage until I go to set tomorrow. I go to this runway show tomorrow, halfway done, because they're going to take this out and do some other stuff. So I have to get ready for bed, but like not touch my hair, which I prefer that. That sounds very easy. And I have to pack because I'm leaving directly from the show to the airport, and my agency is sending me a driver so I can put my suitcase in the car, meaning I cannot fuck up because they're being very nice and helping me get to the airport from the show and make sure I get where I have to go. So let me not mess up by not packing. 0% packed.
She recently admitting to having an eating disorder and struggling with her mental health at Paris Fashion Week. Aoki is only 21 years old, and she has accomplished a lot of things at a young age, like graduating from Harvard and entering when she was only 16 years old. I believe she deserves grace and still time to develop her self-worth, but I also just like to look at the totality of like beauty standards, essentially racism, gender expectations, and nepotism, to be frankly honest.
So, what can I get you?
Okay, we'd like 2 Caesar salads with no dressing and lemons on the side.
And what exactly is in a Caesar salad?
Lettuce, anchovies, and croutons.
Oh, are those croutons oven baked or pan fried?
I don't know. I think they're just regular croutons. Croutons.
Oh.
Did you know that the fat grams in a handful of croutons totally pushes the envelope of daily fat intake?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, they're like these tiny breaded time bombs.
And what exactly is an anchovy?
You know, they're those little fish packed in brine.
What's brine?
Oh, it's that green stuff that you find on the fish tank.
Ew, God, no. Ugh.
Well, then all you're basically getting is lettuce.
Boring. We'll just have the side of lemons. Thank you. How much?
No charge.
Really? Oh, see, it's like I always say, if you're nice to people, they'll be nice to you.
So America is a culture that is inundated with images, websites, magazines, television, and advertising have come to serve as a manual for how we should look, dress, and live. The images we see attempt to show us what is desirable to the opposite sex and how to achieve that look. However, we are not the same. Women especially range dramatically in size, shape, and appearance. Throughout life, our bodies are in a constant state of change. The fashion industry in particular perpetuates the myth that we can and should appear in a certain likeness to what we see on the page and screen. There's a homogenization of increasingly unattainable beauty standards across race and ethnicity. And so I'm going to share my general thoughts about Aoki, but I think it's very important that we understand how a lot of these ideals are based off historical conditions that have come forward. It's unconscious thinking about why we even view beauty the way we do, right? And so beauty is constantly changing. And I think it's sad that a lot of women, even men, but I'm talking about Aoki, so I'm just going to stick to women today, feel like that they have to constantly change in order to survive and thrive. I'm going to just play some public opinion and then I'm going to share more of my thoughts.
The way that the ideal for women's bodies has changed throughout history is fascinating, and the fact that our literal bodies cycle through trends like this.
If you have seen that creator's video and you resonate with it, you need to read this book. If you're new here, my name is Katie. I'm a graduate student at Parsons School of Design, where I study the sociocultural phenomenon and theory of fashion, and here are my 2 cents on this. I literally just posted a video about what that creator said about the corset because while the rest of her video was great, I just have a bone to pick with the narratives around corseting because no, women didn't actually pass out from wearing their corsets. Wearing a corset was an everyday part of life, just like wearing underwear or even like wearing high heels, for example. Tight lacing was sensationalized. Corseting was made to be frivolous as a way to control women, and these narratives were often created by men. Anyways, that was that video. Go watch it. The rest of this creator's video was talking about the way that our body ideals, our beauty standards for bodies, have kind of swung on a pendulum throughout history. It has swung from being like curvy yet skinny, just being plain skinny, but what's interesting about this conversation is that it always centers an ideal of skinniness. Even if you're curvy up here, you're still slim through here. And I wanted to draw your attention to a book that I think everyone will find really illuminating in this conversation, and that is Fearing the Black Body, The Racial Origins of Fat Phobia by Sabrina Strings. This book will absolutely change your perspective on beauty ideals, where they came from, and how a lot of it is rooted in racism. One of the things I find really interesting through this book that the other creator didn't bring up in her video is the way that we used to use undergarments as a way to structure our silhouettes to create the illusion of a slim waist or to create the illusion of a boxy silhouette from like the 20s, but it slowly shifted over time to control of our bodies. And this book makes an argument that that can be seen in the Victorian period in ladies' journals like Godey's Ladies Book with the temperance movement that talked about like differentiating yourself as a white Christian woman by controlling what it is that you eat, what what you drink, how you behave, and the way that you fashion your body. The temperance movement was used by white Christian women to establish a body ideal that was connected to an idea of morality. The more that you could control your body through what you ate, what you drank, what you did, the more moral of a person that you were, but it was based on the idea of what you shouldn't be, which was, as this author was arguing, the fat and black body. There's so much more to this book, connecting it back to the Renaissance and the Enlightenment movement, and really talks about the struggle that black women have faced in America for centuries and how our contemporary ideas of slenderness are really rooted in ideas of racism. So I would definitely recommend checking it out if this is a topic that resonates with you, you want to learn more about it, go and read this book.
So this just hit me right now, but what is considered fat or curvy in the black community or in communities of women of color differs from what is considered fat or curvy in the white community. And so when it comes to conversations about body positivity or like beauty standards, what I've noticed throughout my life, because I've attended PWIs, but I've also been in spaces, of course, you know, growing up in spaces and attended schools with black women and women of color, I've noticed that like the ideas of like what is like thick and what is like what's an ideal body type is so different than when I'm around white peers. And honestly, shifting between spaces, like shifting between being in white environments and being in environments with people who look like me, that shit is actually so crazy on your mental health, because I grew up going to an all-white high school, and so in high school I really hated my body. Then going to college and realizing, wait a minute, you know what I mean?
I was just scrolling through my FYP and this video shows up. And it reminded me of something that still kind of haunts me to this day. Maybe haunt is not the right word, but regardless, back in 2011 was when I graduated high school. It was around the time that they're referring to, or just a little after, still in the earlier times of that decade, that they're all just wanting all white models. So I've graduated high school. I'm taking a year off before I go to college. My mom enrolls me into Barbizon. It's a modeling acting school, or at least that's what they call themselves. It's a couple of months into the thing, and I asked them, you know, what am I supposed to do with my modeling side? Because acting, I'm more familiar with acting, but what should I do with my modeling side? What category would you put me in? Right off the cuff, they called me a plus size model. Plus size? One moment. This is plus sized me in high school. And it's not just the fashion industry that was telling me that I was overweight. When I was in dance, we did like dance and health. We did like this BMI breakdown and blah, blah, blah. And based on my weight and height, it told me that I was also overweight. Not to mention, some family was telling me that they were skinnier than I was in high school, that when they were my age, and I should lose weight as well. Like, it's really weird. Everything, fashion, medicine, everyone calling you fat, like when you're nowhere near fat. Like, I was thankfully cognizant to know that I wasn't fat. But like, yeah, there is a whole lot of fucked upness and racism within medicine and fashion. It's just crazy, y'all.
I finished Fearing the Black Body. I'm so sorry, this video series is way overdue, but in part 1 of the book, Strings discusses male artists and philosophers in Italy and across Europe who painted the ideal body size for women as medium. She discusses the vagueness of that term and explains that the expansion of the slave trade in Europe was happening. Black female bodies were being fetishized by these men and even white women who would treat black women and girls as their accessories. And usually when black women were painted, it was in servitude to white women, still establishing a sense of hierarchy, as seen in this photo. Strings goes on to explain that as the slave trade grew, so did sugar production, which led to Europeans seeing an increase in weight gain, and male European intellectuals declared that excess weight increased irrationality, which intersected with race because rationality was deemed a quality only white people possess. So what was once art used to fetishize black women's bodies evolved to showcasing their bodies as negatively overweight due to this stereotype of weight gain.
This is How to Be a Model Skinny Part 4. So my number one recommendation is fasting, because a lot of people say that it's dangerous and it's really not. You fat on your body, you're not gonna die.
For breakfast, we'll do something cool, like have a cigarette and like a bar of chocolate. And then we go for work for like 1/2 hour, 2.5 hours. And then we'll go for lunch. And lunch is usually, you know, something cool, like a cigarette and like 2-3 bottles of red wine, and then like a bowl of heavy cream. And then dinner, you know, we'll do something.
Here are 100 years of the ideal body. This video is to show that beauty standards are ever changing and that we shouldn't chase trends and embrace our natural body shape. In the 1920s, women wanted to look boyish and androgynous, and the 30s prized a triangle body silhouette. The 1940s and 50s saw a rise in the romantic hourglass. However, in the 60s, the extreme thin pixie look was in. The 70s embraced a more natural look, and the 80s favored a toned body with big hair and loud fashion. The 90s showcased both heroin chic and augmented body types, and diet culture continued into the 2000s with an emphasis on looking thin. The 2010s saw a rise in the curvier, slim, thick body type, and now I think we're seeing more of an acceptance for different body types, but with Y2K style and drugs like Ozempic being popular, we seem to be leaning towards thinness more and more. Follow for more style tips.
After your week, do you do anything diet and exercise wise? Is it just exhausting?
Yeah, it's very exhausting, but I think that, I tried to start a little diet yesterday because I've really just been eating everything, but I really love eating and it makes me happy and I love food, and every day I try to start these diets, make myself feel healthier, but I think that we're running around so much during Fashion Week that, I'm just gonna grab that sandwich or that slice of pizza. It's just gonna happen and I have to just deal with it.
I love to see stuff like this, truly. The amount of miles you walk in a day during Fashion Month is absolutely ridiculous. It's the best form of cardio, truly. And us models work so hard, especially during Fashion Week and Fashion Month. So I just feel like it's important for us to eat what we please, stay healthy, of course, but staying active is a huge part of, diet and workout. So yeah, I love.
She didn't look skinny at all, and her thighs.
Let your natural beauty shine through.
By buying all this makeup.
You're more than a number on a scale.
So try this new diet.
Grow old gracefully.
By using this wrinkle cream.
You were born to be real, not perfect.
Botox and lip filler would look great on you.
You're perfect, just the way you are.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Skin is not a garment like any other. It's our first garment.
Facts. Here are 5 ways the beauty and advertising industry continue to make women feel like shit.
Serum numero 1 de Chanel contains powerful red camellia extract, which supports skin's use.
By using the Western fascination with the French language and accent and throwing in a bit of science, they're trying to legitimize what they're calling facts in this commercial.
Full appearance by addressing the first stage of skin aging. Within a month.
Of course, aging is a problem that needs to be fixed. And women who don't see it as a problem and don't go and do anything they can to fix it, they themselves are seen as a problem.
The appearance of the 5 signs of aging seems reduced. Skin looks smoother, brighter, and revitalized.
Great.
Radiating.
And y'all know this. Come on, you guys are on social media. You see filters, the amazing editing techniques and tools that are now available. Even fake skin can start looking like real skin.
The energy of youth.
Energy?
You are the first expression.
The promise of youth. being young, looking young means that you are beautiful. And honestly, in this commercial, they're saying the energy of youth. There's nothing energetic about these models. They look like statues because, God forbid, they did smile and they did show expression. You could see the natural lines in their skin, which is not what they want to show in this commercial.
Of its beauty. Numéro 1 de Chanel. Beauty ahead of
They did a fantastic job of hitting the DEI checklist. They showed women of all colors to show us that this product is applicable for women of all colors. So go out and get it. Commercials like this continue to push the narrative that women need to do everything in their power to continue to looking young, because if they don't look young, they're no longer beautiful. And if you're not striving for youth, you're not striving for beauty, then what use are you to the society? This is bullshit.
Day one of working out to get my measurements down because I'm that bitch who lies on her comp card. That's probably not a very healthy way to do it, but I just always say my measurements are like 2 inches lower than they are, and just that fear of being called a liar sends me to the gym. So we're going.
So the New York Times reports that according to marketing research firm Yankee Lovich, someone living in a city sees up to 5,000 ads per day. About half of the over 4,000 people surveyed felt the amount of ads we are bombarded with is out of control. Ads often feature models, men and women selling products, their bodies held up as the implicit standards of beauty in modern culture. The images are edited and enhanced, but even so, the ultra-thin body ideal for models is naturally occurring in only 1% of the human population. Therefore, the comparison that occurs between consumers and images we see on a daily basis is bound to have a major impact, and often does, in the form of low self-worth, negative body image, and eating disorders. So I do understand that Aoki wants to be a model in an industry that is very usually one-sided, right? And Aoki happens to be someone who is mixed culture. She is black and she is Asian, right? She's like Korean, Japanese, and black. Aoki, for one, she does have lighter skin, but she also has the privilege to appear as ambiguous in a thin body with natural hair. For her to be someone who also has affluent parents and has grown into this industry, I feel that maybe this is all that she knows. Maybe she loves it. I don't know. But I do think there are ways to still do what you love without compromising yourself. I think that you can still work in the fashion industry, like even as a consultant. And I know her and her sisters used to do a lot with the Baby Fat brand that her mom owned or created. And I think a lot of like people enjoyed that brand, right? So even if she revamped it or she decided to make her own line of like college wear that's like fashionable lounge wear or active clothing, I think people would buy into that. I think there's so many avenues that Aoki can pursue while still being grounded. And I don't know if, again, she just like likes the lifestyle of being a fashion model. I'm not saying that the industry shouldn't change and be more open to like body sizes, but I think if this industry has been so stagnant on like European ideals, that it won't change overnight at least. And so if Aoki is someone who has said that to her own father, if she doesn't get an allowance, she will be a sugar baby, it kind of shows that she is desperate to earn a living for herself. And I think a lot of young women do these type of things. And I'm not trying to essentially shame anyone, but I think it's important to know that you don't have to do those things, especially if it's like changing your body or just being with men you don't even like that's crazy. So I'm not going to sugarcoat that. I think a lot of women, when they even talk about that, they'll say, I'm a sugar daddy who I don't have to give any sugar to. So if that's the case, you really don't want to do those things. That's how I feel. And even when it comes to Aoki, I feel like when you see her in the limelight with like with this old man who's like essentially old enough to be her granddad or father, uncle, whatever. And
well, my boyfriend is deeply obsessed with this little bag that he found, and he wanted this to be my beach bag. It's smaller than my head, okay? I fit in here. Please, a master, okay? Voilà. I'm explaining on Instagram all the stuff that I fit in this bag. Okay, I have a tiny argan oil. Like, you can't go to the beach with no conditioner. I don't know what this white people behavior is, but he's like, what do you need this for? And I'm like, for my hair. Yeah, everyone said don't say a peep because you're under wraps, you're a secret dude. So just stop. I have some sunscreen, voilà. Tu peux aller? Pardon? Non, tu peux aller, juste expliquer pour les gens les petites choses que j'ai. Juste pas dit, je m'appelle so and so and j'habite ici. Like, baby, see, they're already like, he's French. I know because he understood what you said. He's not French, he's Italian. Oh, there's a cow.
You want to see the cow?
Yeah, I want to go to, and a rooster. Oh my god, he's reversing so I can see the cow.
Here's the cow.
Cow. Oh, it's so cute. Okay, wait. Look at the cow. Hi, Mr. Cow. Oh, he's so big. Hi, cow. Hi, Mr. Cow. Bye, cow. Oh, it's another one, baby. It's another one. Yeah, and oh, and see the roosters. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. I'm still live streaming. We just finished my little live stream. Remember, if your man doesn't support your ridiculous content, he's not the one for you. Someone said he's so Italian for reversing so I can see a cow.
And she's constantly saying my boyfriend. It shows that perhaps there may be like this unhealthy attachment. And this is probably because she feels that she has to have someone else support her. So I think that Aoki is young enough to still develop her skills herself and to even use her degree to do other things. Like, I'm not saying she shouldn't do fashion, she shouldn't be happy, but I think that a lot of times what happens is that when your beauty becomes your identity, you just essentially become an object and you're constantly being used. Like, women in general, a lot of times their beauty, their age is tied to like labor, and unfortunately even just being objectified. And I think that that makes you old in a sense. Like, that can make you spiritually drained, right? Because your body isn't doing things that it should naturally do in a healthy environment. And I didn't mean to get into a tangent, but I just really feel bad for young women who feel like that they have to have a man save them, right? So I just think that
if you don't raise my budget, I'm gonna get a sugar daddy. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm kidding.
What did you say?
Nothing. Okay.
You don't even have sugar daddy capabilities, right? Aren't you a B? Of course you are, right?
I'm just saying, if you don't give me money, I'm gonna go, I don't know. So
You're not going to do any of that. You're just going to raise your budget. Your budget's fine.
I'm gonna be an ambassador for the meat industry.
God is watching you. He hears you. I mean, your higher self hears you. You know what you said is bad. You're not going to do that. You're just talking. Where's that boyfriend of yours? Is he still around?
Yeah, he's not. He's hiking right now.
Aoki Simmons is definitely her mama's daughter. Her mama was a gold digger, and apparently she gonna be a gold digger just like her mama. There was a video that circulated online with Aoki and her daddy Russell Simmons, and at the time it seemed like she was joking, but she told him that if he didn't raise her budget, she was gonna find her a sugar daddy. Needless to say, I guess Russell didn't raise the budget and she went and found her a sugar daddy. Just judging by some of the interactions that Aoki and Russell had online, it appears that there may be some daddy issues involved in this as well. Just because you got a daddy don't mean he was an active father or a good father at that. And judging by some of the stuff she done said, I don't think he was that great of a father. So this may not only be a financial gain for her messing with this older man, it may be something that she's looking for fatherly from him as well. You just never know. I know me personally, me having an active good father always made me not want older men. Because when I thought of older men, I thought of my father. And anybody who I could think of them playing spades with my daddy is a turnoff in itself, right? Watching her on that beach with that old man having that photo shoot was absolutely cringe. When I was that age, I thought old men had worms. And I stayed far away from them, right? But these young girls are different. And like I said, when you
Beyond
raised by a
like
mama
sex
who
work
didn't have
or
no problem
even
messing
like
with old men, I mean,
relationships
it
with
ain't really
like
that shocking
unhealthy
that you would
age
do it.
gaps and settling into industries that want to forever change you, there's so many other things you can do. And Aoki, when I see like even people like Tiana Taylor, who was a dark-skinned woman, naturally talented and beautiful, and who realized that the industry didn't respect her, so she just went into her other talents like dancing and just working with stars, coaching them. I feel like Aoki is a child star similar to Tiana, except Aoki is more privileged in a lot of sense. Not only does she meet the beauty standard, but she's also educated and she had two affluent parents. And I'm not totally trying to compare them like for some like like for some misogynistic like agenda or whatever. I'm just saying that Aoki can choose a similar path where she still chooses her passions aside from modeling to get where she needs to be in life. So sometimes you have to use all of your resources, right? And Aoki has a lot. So I think that when she gets beyond like modeling, especially for someone whose mother is a model, who was a supermodel, she can learn from those things, but you can't just stay in a box. And I know she's young and she'll figure it out. I hope she does. But yeah, that's all I want to say about this subject. Don't sell yourself short and don't let men or society use you up at a young age. Because what'll happen is you'll get older and you'll be looking crazy, unstable, and just regretful. And people will call you bitter at the fact that they took all your sweetness. So that's what y'all think. Let me know down below. And thank you so much for listening to Books and Looks TV.